Hey there, kiddos. It looks like you found your dad's anime stash. Why don't you let Mark, Josh, and Justin show you how to view your anime?
I like it.
I've heard Barry do worse.
I was about to say I'm a little bit jealous that's better than mine, but
Do you want to introduce us now, Booty Stank?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Booty Stank. Right beside me is Justin / Barry.
Hello.
And on the bottom is Josh. How y'all doing today?
Hey, I didn't see you guys there. I was just reading the book Slime Girl, written by Josh Hatfield, available on Amazon.com.
So let's play.
Plug.
What are we gonna do this week?
What are we doing this week? We're reviewing Kengan Ashura.
What is that?
It is a fighting anime. Kind of like Megalobox, but I'm not going to give you my opinion on it just to hold the suspense.
Barry, would you like to tell us what Kengan Ashura is? Maybe in a much better way than Booty Stank did?
Yeah.
Kengan Ashura is essentially an illegal underground fighting for giant corporations to pawn off different assets of their company, sometimes even their whole company. And whoever they pick as their fighter is kind of their I'm lost on words here. Not their wager. What am I looking for here? Their
representative.
Their representative. Thank you. I appreciate that. They're representative for their company, and yeah, all in all, I think it's not so bad. You know, for a Netflix, I believe it's Netflix owned. They made the whole thing, right? They didn't buy it off from Japan like many other Netflix adaptations.
You can tell Netflix made it because it looks like total dog shit.
yeah.
That's kind of their key.
Bad.
Everything they make looks awful. Every anime they make looks completely awful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Between this and Wrecker Ragnarok was another one they made, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just picking animes that look kind of the same, like Baki. This one.
I couldn't nail down this style of animation. I couldn't tell if it was cell shaded to try to look hand drawn or hand drawn to look cell shaded, but either way they failed.
Oh, yeah. It looked like it pulled a lot from JoJo's, like early JoJo's.
It's one of my least favorite things about anime now is how everything pulls stuff from JoJo's.
Sometimes it does, yeah. I could definitely see that.
I can't think of anyone I've ever met that, you know, is worth talking to that liked JoJo's. You guys know what I mean?
I feel like it's directed more to like a certain individual, you know. Speaking of people like JoJo's, Ash has a whole episode about that on his show. JoJo Part 1, Part 2. I still haven't seen it personally, but I hear it's decent.
I watched part of an episode.
It's all right. It's more worth the story. Like if you want to understand what's going on, and yeah, the animation isn't great, the storyline isn't perfect, but Part 3 shows more of the comedy aspects, and I adore Part 3.
The thing about JoJo's is, are you guys familiar with the phrase "uncanny valley"?
No.
Yeah.
So the human instinct to be afraid of things that look almost human but aren't quite human. That's how I feel about that entire series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you first introduce him on, you're just like, well, you basically do whatever you feel like, but in some cases that's not the case. So you know, it's just a matter of like, you know, oh, he's a protagonist. He can do whatever he feels like. He loses. Okay, there you go. Here it is. But on the third part, you just it just kind of just glides over it. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Just do what you want. And that's what makes it enjoyable for me for the most part.
All right. So that's the part where we talk about JoJo's apparently. So Kengan Ashura, we feel like had a similar animation style, but the plot I don't feel was very similar to JoJo's. Would you agree?
Yeah. The plot was simple, and they had just a simple idea and just kind of went with it to see how far they could push it. I did not like the still animation where I call it like a YouTube children's book where we'll take one picture and then kind of pan the camera at different angles over the same fucking picture. It's like an early Berserk is what I think it of.
Yeah.
Like Speed Racer.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I think it's just a way to save money instead of spend money on money. Yeah. Do what?
Speed Racer definitely had better animation, I feel like.
Right.
I mean,
that's bad.
Very...
Speed Racer didn't really have animation.
I know it.
They had a picture they shook up and down.
Absolutely.
That one guy shaking the picture, I'm sure he made lots of money. That's a job I want.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like every backstory was just that still picture animation thing. Some kid drew it up with a crown sort of thing, and I didn't like that so much. Like the backstories would have been better with maybe a little bit of budget behind them.
Yeah,
I don't know. You're in love with backstory in anime, which I don't get.
I'd love.
It's just another building block.
I don't care that much about everyone's backstory. I can't invest in every character that comes along.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, not every single one, but like there were a few characters that stuck out that I wish I could visualize, I guess, more about their back. Like the giant fisher guy, the fisherman who pretty much died within 5 seconds, but I really wanted to know what he was doing there. He seemed like the one character that just didn't fit. There was no martial art background. He was just harpooning whales, and they dragged him into this tournament of death.
So he is a reference to the dude who won Ninja Warrior 3 times, who was also a fisherman, probably.
I thought he was a fireman.
Okay.
You're thinking of American Ninja Warrior.
I feel like the original Ninja Warrior, I thought it was a fireman. They were going off about had like 5% body fat or some shit.
No, the dude who the first there might have been more than one person to win Ninja Warrior 3 times, but the first dude to win it 3 times was the fisherman. Because I remember the video they would always play of him climbing up the mast of a boat and then doing a handstand.
Yeah, okay, and he'd do like standing push-ups on the pier and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude was a badass.
He was a badass, but
that
he
really was a
well in the
reference.
tournament.
Oh no, no, he didn't last too long. But I like that
needed a godly ability.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit of training in martial arts. What do you think about the wrestler as a character?
I like the wrestler. I like the wrestler, and it made it feel like the main character was widely underpowered, just because like he was an entirely different weight class, and that's what made me love the wrestler. But what I hate about the wrestler and the other American that was there, they would speak in English, and my brain wouldn't switch over from Japanese to English quick enough. Subtitles, it would subtitle the English words, and so I couldn't understand what the hell they were saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. They deserve to die.
Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. I did like the wrestler.
Personally, I didn't like any character at all. The only one I could really identify with was, so we had our main guy, the fighter, and then the old man who's watching him, and then the old man had the son who wouldn't come out of his room. I identified with the son who wouldn't come out of his room. I respected him for what he was doing.
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
You got
I identified as the guy that was representing the main character. I forgot his name. Kazuo. The older guy.
No one's name. I know who you're talking about.
The old guy with he was almost bald.
Yeah.
The son that wouldn't come out of the room. His dad.
Yeah, his dad. I know who.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Absolutely.
I'm following you. I'm with you. I could not tell you the guy's name. I can't tell you anyone's name from this show.
Me neither.
Oh yeah, it's really fast paced, and the names just go right over your head.
If Mark hadn't quit the podcast, I'm sure he could tell us.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He's got them all tattooed. Well, you didn't like the doctor? Like, you didn't like that little twist where it's like, oh, he's a doctor. Oh, but he's also going to fight in this tournament for no freaking reason.
Everyone has their reasons, and the reason is money.
Yeah.
And doctors get paid well. I don't know how well they get paid in like underground fighting rings, but I'm sure it's pretty decent.
I'm sure they get paid just fine in underground fighting rings. Doctors can make money, potentially.
True.
But you also have to keep in mind that he's in Japan where they have universal health care.
Yeah.
I did not take that into account. So he might actually not be getting paid through, unlawful or through all this great Medicare that they got going on. Huh.
I also really like Lito. Lito, the dude with the fingers that had a really strong grip. The blonde guy.
The guy that jerked it all the time.
Yeah, there you go. The dude that jerked it all the time.
It's terrible. I don't know their names, but I've got nicknames for every single one of the characters here.
Yeah, see, me and you are in the same boat.
How feel about you?
The man with 100 nicknames.
There you go. But I really liked him just because, like, he didn't have a company to represent, so he made his own company. Like, I thought that was pretty cool, pretty original. He wanted to fight for his own company.
That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
No, but like he wanted to fight, so he made his own company.
Man,
well, if he wants to fight, he needs to just walk into a back alley and fight someone. Okay.
Well, that's what the main character did, and look how it worked out for him.
Yeah. That's what this guy should have done.
That's just right place, right time,
Pretty much. And then the main character became the main part of the story just because he took out the guy that they were trying to get to represent.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
I mean, it might be the first minute of the first episode. It's still a spoiler. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
On the show.
Not at all.
So something else I was thinking about, like, that didn't make a lot of sense was the sumo wrestler, the island kid. The island kid, I guess, who's pretty much abducted from his island. There was no sneaky way about it. He got kidnapped from his island where he hasn't seen technology, decent food, and then he gets given all this and he turns into this giant chunky boy and is expected to fight in this whole mess. I didn't understand how he even stood a chance, how he abandoned all of his fighter ways, and still they were like, yeah, he's gonna put up a good fight, sure.
That's the thing that didn't make sense to you. Everything else was
it's
there.
Anime. Like, I'm just used to nothing making sense, but that one kind of really stood out to me where he's trained his whole life. And then, like, I was great in high school, but I'm sure if I tried to pick up a basketball now, it would be god awful. So I don't understand how they expected him to hop in after years of just playing video games and eating out. fighting with all these trained martial artists.
I don't believe you were great at basketball.
I
Were
went
you
to a
on
small
junior
school,
varsity?
no, varsity from freshman year. Yeah,
Varsity from freshman year. Were you a
Yeah.
starter?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's because half the team got kicked out due to a fight, so they were suspended most of my
I feel like
freshman year.
anything I'd say, you'd be like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
State records, all that. Yeah.
Oh no, I wouldn't go. It was a small school. I graduated with 10 people, so you
See,
got
I know you're lying because you said you graduated.
well, yeah.
Well, what you don't know is Barry is the main focus for this entire anime. Kengan Ashura is he's the one who started the fight in that arena. So this entire
it all
they're at that game, and he made that entire thing about Barry.
it all ties in. That's anime as a whole, just all ties in together.
I believe
Absolutely.
you, but if other people don't, I get where they're coming from.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's something else that I remember. Bart, I know Mark's not here, but I wanted to talk about him anyways because that's what we do. He was talking about how he had a conspiracy theory about how Kengan Ashura was tied in with Baki. How there's a lot of similarities between the two. You know, both are underground fighting. Both the characters look kind of identical, like they copy and pasted it, and both were made from Netflix, which would make sense if they tied in. You know, why not copy and paste the same winning idea? You know, way to go, Netflix.
Well, they're both based on mangas written by other people. So
I'm trying to find some type of way this art style would work in an anime, and I can't think of any type of isekai or fighting anime. Maybe racing would work with this art style that they use.
Would probably work. I feel like racing would probably work either this one or fighting like it is. But I mean, it's very hard for this art style to make it in any sort of genre, in any sort of way that the anime that we have today that are just like pretty much peak. I mean, like how can it compete with like the artistic style of Demon Slayer, or like the backstory of like One Piece? I mean, it had decent backstories, but like it just touched upon them. It didn't build upon it.
yeah, okay, I get it. I get where you're coming from. Everybody loves backstory nowadays, but we don't need it. We don't need all these backstories. We don't need to know every villain that's going to be dead in 10 seconds' favorite food. There's too much of that crap. Just move on. You know, what does Frieza like doing? Nothing. You don't know shit about Frieza. That's what makes Frieza such a good villain.
He just shows up. Yeah.
Frieza's backstory: his dad's a dick, so he's a dick too. That's all we need to know about Frieza.
And then didn't they put his dad in a movie, right? Like he wasn't actually.
No, you're thinking of his brother.
Oh, okay.
Frieza and his dad were killed by Trunks. It was pathetic.
I guess for them as short lived, I don't want to say short lived, but these characters, I feel like the only reason they give them a backstory is because you're only going to see them for 5 minutes. So would it make more sense for them to just show up, say, "Hey, this is so and so," beat them, and move on?
Yeah. Listen, man. Let me tell you. Have you ever read The Stand? It's a novel by Stephen King.
I can't read.
Okay. So imagine a book that's 10 times as long as the Bible. Okay. And we get to the end, and you have your bad guys, right?
Okay.
Stephen King spends chapter after chapter after chapter talking about these individual bad guys, and then they all get killed in a nuclear explosion. It was the biggest waste of time of my life. And that's what I think about every time I watch something like Kengan Ashura or Demon Slayer. Unless this backstory is somehow important to the story, I don't need to hear it.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. I mean, that Demon Slayer did better. There's only 10 seconds of a of a bad guy's backstory versus this, where it's
You kidding
half
me?
the episode.
Yeah,
the
what
first
are you
one.
talking about?
The
I know
first one.
everything about the drum guy from Demon Slayer, who was there
But
for
they
2
did that.
episodes, and half of an episode was his backstory.
I thought it was like a 10-second clip of just a quick view of how he got to where he is.
No,
It was really half an episode?
it was extremely long for work.
Man,
It was a
my
quarter
memory
of his
sucks.
time there.
Man, I really thought it was shorter than that. My memory sucks.
So did Demon
Don't
Slayer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You're not missing much whenever it comes to Demon Slayer. Hot take. I do not like Demon Slayer.
The only thing I liked about Demon Slayer was the Flame Hashira.
That's
everything
that's
else
one thing. That's one of the things I didn't like. I honestly felt more bad about the demon that died at the end of season 2 than I did the Flame Ashura.
We didn't watch season 2.
Yeah,
No.
I still got to catch it. I didn't even watch the movie.
Yeah,
You were supposed to watch the movie. You said you did, but that's fine. Just lie.
I did.
I didn't watch the movie either. I just watched the second season. You're talking about the train guy, the train kid,
Yeah,
The Mugen Train.
the Hot Topic.
Mugen Train.
Like, what if Hot Topic made a train? The anime.
Absolutely. There you go.
I might actually watch that.
Movie to think about if Hot Topic made a train. There you go. Done. You don't need to watch the movie anymore.
Mm-hmm. So what was your
nice art? It looked pretty. It looked pretty.
It did. It was like unnecessarily good. Can't say the same for Kengan Ashura. So was there any standout fights for you guys in Kengan? Anything that you were like, wow, we need to do a fight breakdown of this because it's so good. This is better than Rock Lee versus Gara.
Nothing's better than Rock Lee versus Gara.
That's true. That's true.
Muay Thai, just because I like the fighting style. I think it was episode 1 or 2, part 1 or part 2 episode. I don't know how the hell they labeled it.
I only watched part 1.
I think I was watching part 1 and it kind of rolled over into it. I didn't realize that there was a separation. It never hit me until I looked at
grasping for part 1 to be over. So after every episode, I was making sure I didn't have to watch anymore.
Yeah.
I was like folding laundry and then Netflix pops up, says, "Are you still watching?" I clicked back. I was like, "Well, I don't know." And then it said part 2 episode, whatever the hell it ended on. But the little Muay Thai kid was probably one of my favorites just because I like the fighting style. Pretty sure he loses. I didn't get that far into it, but I did like that he just yelled at everything. Kind of like the boarhead guy of Demon Slayer, just randomly yelling.
You liked him? He was your guy?
Yeah.
That was my guy, yeah.
The boarhead?
Boarhead. I'm sure he has a great name, but boarhead just seems a little more fitting.
The only thing I liked about him is he's made me think of that lunch meat, boarhead lunch meat. It's pretty good.
I've never had it. I mean,
well, get a second job. Maybe you can afford it.
Maybe. Is it an expensive lunch meat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like
the
very first wrestling match that main character and that big ass wrestler was in with each other.
Yeah, when he first grabs the Ashura ability.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that match. It just shows a power up that the main character could do. I think his name is Oma. Isn't it Oma?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oma did his first really strong power up, and I guess beat the guy, but I don't feel like he deserved it. I don't feel like Oma deserved to win. I feel like the other guy could have just kind of pushed through. He just kind of was just like, yeah, sure, you win, kid. And it's just like, I don't know about that. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, we watched it too, man.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I see where you're coming from. I mean, if there was any character that was close to being kind of likable, it was the wrestler, because he just let him beat the shit out of him. And it's like, ha, you got to be a good actor to be a wrestler, kid. And then he just kicks someone's ass for a while to death.
Right?
It seemed.
Yeah.
His face was pretty liquidy by the end of that beating.
That's what I mean, though. For me, it doesn't feel like he deserved to win. Like, I mean, he was pretty, he's beaten pretty badly.
Right.
But I mean, who cares? He did get up, and he did fight back.
Yeah,
Sure.
all in all, I'm finding more and more things I don't like about this show than I liked it. Like the character arcs, some of them were okay. None of them stood out. Artwork style was cheap, I guess is the best way to explain it. With
Yeah.
still pictures and very thick outlines. The fighting styles I like that they incorporate different styles. Even Harpoon Guy, I appreciate that to a little bit of an extent. But all in all, there was nothing in this show that really stuck out where I could like it.
Have you ever, you probably not, this is kind of a niche video game series. Have you ever heard of Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
So in part 3, there's a character who's a cop, and his name is Stryker. And his superpower is he shoots people with a gun. And I would have liked to seen more of that in this.
More gun.
Yeah.
They don't have guns in fighting animes, do they?
I feel like it would have just sped things up.
Yeah, a lot of missed opportunity there.
Like, first guy pops out and he's like, look how sharp my nails are, or whatever the fuck my thing was. And then he just shoots him.
Just goes through the whole backstory and then just shoots him.
As the bullets flying through the air, it flashes back to a backstory. It's like, my mother died whenever I was young, and so I had to be the man of the house because my father was already dead. And the bullets flying through the air.
That's where I went to work at a salon where I got my nail power. Yeah, I can see it. Like his whole master teaching him that I didn't understand if that was a fighting style or not. It seemed kind of gibberish.
You talking about Oma?
Yeah, where it keeps showing flashbacks every 10 seconds about him arguing with his master or his sensei. I didn't get it. It didn't make a whole lot. That was the one arc that kind of was supposed to stand out the most, I guess, but they let me down. I don't know if anyone else actually liked it or not, but I had the most hope for it, and it didn't seem to go anywhere.
I didn't have any hope for it at all, so I'm not sure why you would have. It seemed like everything else. And the whole thing kind of seemed like gibberish to me, you know?
Yeah.
You got a pro wrestler there who's somehow super tough. I don't know a lot of pro wrestlers, but it seemed, I figured their whole thing is acting. So maybe they don't do underground street fights, but I'm not there. And you got your claw guy who...
Don't forget the one black guy that they had on there, the one that spoke English that you couldn't really.
The torpedo, right?
The torpedo.
He just randomly jacked the announcer's microphone and just started announcing random shit, and I actually enjoyed that.
I was gonna say that wasn't my least favorite part. That's for sure.
Yeah. I had to go back to remember that he was in the fight. Like I just remember him being one of the announcers.
He literally just jumped in the booth and jacked that lady's headphone and just started announcing everything. It's just like, damn, dude, way to go to insert yourself.
Like announcers. I feel like, so have you guys heard of Dragon Ball? In Dragon Ball,
No.
they have world tournaments, and then they have the same announcer in each and every tournament. I think that might have made this whole thing a bit more cohesive if we had like a likable announcer guy there who we could rally behind.
Yeah.
And then maybe he gets shot by a stray bullet. and then
But not before it shows his backstory.
And then we find out his backstory of he had to announce because his brother was training to be an announcer, but then his brother spontaneously combusted, so he decided to live out his dream.
I really like that backstory.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, I teared up a little bit thinking it up.
This is where Netflix goes, or we could make him a giant torpedo and lose the first round.
And for some reason, he's still there. And for some reason, he went into announcer booth and just started talking to people.
I feel like they jumped to the tournament really quickly. They're like, they're like, okay, oh, there's all these underground fights. Well, he won a couple. Let's have a big tournament. Let's do that. It would have made more sense to me if, they talked about the tournament in the first episode and they're like, he's got to win as many fights as possible because we've got this tournament coming up in a couple of weeks and we need him to qualify. Or if they just didn't have a tournament, it was just him, going around to the fights.
Out as fast as possible.
Do what?
To keep people interested.
What was the deal with the? What was the deal with the money? Because it seemed like each company had almost exactly the same amount. Like it was just like 200 billion, some random number million, and then the next one 200 billion, a different random number of million. I don't know the difference in currency, like yen to U.S. dollars, but I felt like there'd be a bigger gap between some of these big companies.
What I want to know
was that
is how they. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe I misunderstood. I thought that was like what they were putting up. That was the stake of the company they were putting up. Or was that the entire value of their company?
Yeah, I thought that was like their whole net value of the company.
It could have been. I could be wrong here, but I thought that was like the stake of their company they were putting up, like stock or fucking old office chairs or whatever. They put up this much worth.
That'd make more sense, yeah.
Like it was like a gamble, wasn't it?
What?
It was like a gamble. Like there's like a 500 million yen entry fee for the tournament. And then it was kind of like a winner takes all type thing and a loser loses all.
Okay. So
yeah.
The Panasonic guy, when he did the bet, it was just completely different from what he was going to make in the fight, right? It was just a little extra on top of it. Okay.
That was his side purse.
Okay. I wondered about that.
I like the way you're pretending like you don't participate in illegal gambling.
Not usually. It's Oklahoma. There's casinos everywhere if I really wanted to gamble, but that whole scene kind of mind fucked me a little bit, I guess.
I'm really happy that you have casinos everywhere. Where I live, there's just casino, just roulette machines fucking everywhere. At any gas station or liquor store or Walmart you stop in.
Daycares and some schools.
This depends on the name.
Speaking of that whole 10% thing, that scene kind of messed with me. I'm still going back to it.
The what?
How he bet 10% or 10% of his stocks in Panasonic or something like that. It's like 10%. That seems like nothing. And then she did the math for him, and he was like, "Oh shit, now I'm in debt." I like it.
Math is hard, man. We've proven that episode after episode after episode.
I guess it was something I could relate with. I'm like 10%. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a much. And then she did the math. I'm like, oh, that would probably suck for that guy.
Yeah, honestly, 10 seems like a small number. I have a 2-year-old who can count to 10, so you'd think that's nothing. But no, apparently there's multiplication and division, and then you square it, and it's nuts.
We've got an episode explaining the math to our reviews. If anyone listening wants to go check that out, it's a few episodes back. You have to do the math to find the episode, but all in all, I mean, there wasn't much of this anime that stuck out. If we want to do our reviews now, I really don't think there's anything else we could squeeze out of it.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. I don't think any of us walked away from this anime feeling like it was a good use of our time.
Yeah.
Booty stank.
It's all right. So you want me to go first with my review?
I want you to tell me if it was a good use of your time.
It was a time that I spent.
I want you to tell me 10 other better things you could have been doing instead of watching this anime.
I could have been at a bar. I could have been at work. I could have been making some money. I could have been cleaning the toilet. Literally anything. I mean, I wouldn't put it as low as Sword Art Online on my personal list, but it is just a tiny bit above Sword Art Online.
That's fair.
Is there a letter you want to put to that?
Well, to me, Sword Art Online is the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen in my life.
Let me hang on. Let me stop you right there. I once posed the question to some other people whether or not Sword Art Online was garbage or super garbage. So I'm with you. I did not care for Sword Art Online. I didn't see what was so special about it.
I feel
already
like
seen God Hack. I didn't need a new isekai.
I feel like Kengan Ashura is just a tiny bit above Sword Art.
How do you feel it compares to Record of Ragnarok?
I did not see Record of Ragnarok.
You're a lucky man.
No, thank you. I believe so myself, but yeah.
I mean, Record of Ragnarok at least had an interesting thing they could have done with it. It felt like it was ripped off.
Well, you got 2 coming. How can you not be excited for it?
I'm kind of hoping they pull in some of the characters from Kengan Ashura in the Record of Ragnarok. Might as well.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, Barry. That's why we try not to talk about Record of Ragnarok, despite the fact that we do it every episode, is that we'll sit here and we'll be like, here's the plot. And then everyone will hear that and be like, I'm going to go watch that because that sounds fucking awesome. It does. It sounds so good. I was so excited when I first heard about it. But I do think there is a lot of potential in Kengan Ashura. I don't think the main character was the right person to go with. His complete lack of emotion and literally having one stupid goal didn't work for me.
You didn't like the I'm starving, I gotta go eat. Bye.
I did like that. You know what? That didn't bug me. What bugged me was he's like, he's gonna be in this tournament. He has to be. That's the only thing I care about. Come on, dude. I don't care. Maybe be in the tournament to prove you're the best. Be in the tournament because the old man's secretly your dad. Do something else. Do something that's not shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The writing was
like I'm saying. I like the idea of Kengan Ashura. Again, don't like the execution.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't completely hate it. I mean, I may sound like I do, but I didn't completely like feel like, well, I did feel like it could be doing other stuff, but at the beginning I felt the concept. I seen the execution. I was just like, well, the art is not great, not at all. While the premise is great, the execution was poor. So that's pretty much where I stand on that.
So you're giving it an A-?
No, not that high. I probably give it a C+.
C+. Barry, what do you think about that? Don't do that. That sounds horrible.
That's me trying to think it out.
Just hold your breath.
Just hold my breath till I turn blue and ain't I give a review.
Holding your breath helps you think because you don't have to focus on breathing in and out. You have a little bit more brain power.
I might try that. I'm gonna practice that this week. I
Practice in your
didn't.
sleep tonight.
So there are a few things that I wanted to like. I guess I didn't actually like it, but I really wanted it to be something, and it just shot my hopes down every chance that it got. At least with the show we don't talk about anymore. It had an interesting idea that they could have built off of. This one, it just felt kind of ripped off every chance they got to copy and paste. They did that. It's not a big budget for it. Fighting styles were generic. There wasn't anything different. All in all, probably an F plus.
Let me ask you this. Had there been a character who dropped big ass weights off of his arms, would you have liked it more?
I would have liked it more. To answer your question, yeah, I would have.
A weight drop would have helped.
It would have. Maybe
we
off
always
his ankles.
We always talk about animes that could use Rock Lee, and
green jumpsuit.
Rock Lee would have helped a lot in this. Yeah. Coming in,
Rock Lee was in it. This would probably be a A-.
Yep.
You just need one character with a green jumpsuit, man. That's all it needs.
A green jumpsuit has never hurt an anime. Period. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, man, I can't add anything to this that you guys haven't said. Probably an F plus. I definitely won't watch the next season. And I know, and I'm glad Mark's not here to tell us not to shit all over it.
Yeah.
So, using our very complicated math system, I figured out that the average for this is an F plus.
You did all of our complicated math in that 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's some Einstein level genius right there, man.
No, that's why I had you two go first, so I could average out yours, and then I knew what mine was going to be, and then I added it in, and then I divided by 3.
Okay.
Are you sure
you don't want
fights?
No, I'm not sure about anything I said.
We don't know your backstory yet.
My backstory, you don't want to get into that. So yeah, it's definitely not one of our highest ranking. We're kind of on a losing streak here. Tends to what I'm essentially finding out is I think that there's more bad anime than good anime. What do you guys think?
Yeah. As anime fans, we're judgmental. I feel like it's just something we grew up into.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
When we were younger, and there was less to choose from, I think we were more accepting. But now that we have a plethora, now that we have an entire streaming app, one streaming app that has all the anime, period, we judge more harshly.
Yeah. I can feel that.
Because I think as a kid, we all would have loved Welcome to Jabberai Park. We've been like, wow.
No.
That one's lips are moving.
No, my 2-year-old didn't walk into the room and say, "Hey, wow, what are you watching? That looks awesome." Did not happen.
Yeah, about 2 minutes in, mine just walked away from the TV. It just doesn't happen. They watch kids play with YouTube or YouTube videos where kids play with toys all day, but they can't watch Welcome to Jabberite Park.
Yeah. That's saying something.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're on a losing streak here. Hopefully, we'll pull out something special. Barry, do you have a wheel to pull up for us?
I'm gonna attempt to. Mark's usually the one who does the wheel. He likes to hide it.
So we have a backup wheel, which is actually like 1,000 times better than Mark's wheel, at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we all know that second best.
Yeah. So we're gonna pull up this wheel. It's kind of a slim down wheel because we used it once 15 weeks ago and haven't had anything since. But it's got some stuff on it, so we're gonna make it work.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if it will let me.
Just it'll let you. Mark does it every week.
Yeah, Mark also has this fancy, like, cool dual screen thing and all of his nerdy stuff.
Just get the fucking wheel up. I'm stalling. I can't stall all day.
I know. You're doing great. I appreciate you.
Kids are getting angry. Why are we on the screen? This is not the wheel. What's happening?
What is this?
All right. Can you see the wheel?
That's not the wheel.
Yes and no.
That's not what I sent you.
That's what I clicked, man. That's.
Hang on. Well, something's wrong here. Bear with me. Bear with us. Hey, stall.
So, you remember in Naruto when I tried watching Boruto the other day just to like catch up. Like, man, I'm really missing all this stuff. One Piece is coming out, again, and then what was it? Bleach is starting up again.
There's no point in Bleach starting up again. Try that. Try that new link and see what pulls up before you put it on the screen.
All right. It's still yes and no. Says
Okay.
link not found. I thought you were trying to be funny and just have a yes and no, but
I mean, I've got.
So anyway, I've been enjoying Shield Hero. I'll have you know.
Do what?
I have been enjoying Shield Hero.
Rise of the Shield Hero. You know who really loves that? The people over at Segoi Summit. Dylan really loves it. He loves Rise of the Shield Hero. It's one of his personal favorites. I thought about inviting him on, talking to him about it and all, but it's good. It really, that first backstab really sucks you in. Like, I don't know what it is about it.
It definitely recycles a lot of stuff. I mean, the show's not perfect, but I thoroughly enjoying going through the story and everything that's happening within it. A lot of the power-ups are, again, it folds. It's recycled sometimes, but through everybody's story and where they come from, what they're doing, who's all in his party, why they're going against the Shield Hero. I really enjoy what they're trying to do with the story and everything. I actually pretty much enjoy the Shield Hero. I'm on episode 24 at the moment.
Yeah. Another thing they did well, I thought, was the world building in it. Because you'll catch it sometimes in anime. Most big animes will do it pretty well, but this one, if they do something, hopefully I don't ruin it for you, but I'm gonna spoil it just in case. They walk up on this village, and the whole village is being poisoned. And they find out because it's the carcass of this dragon has kind of bled out and poisoned the whole thing. And then it backtracked. They're like, well, another hero killed this dragon to save our village, but now it's spoiling everything. So it's just kind of that little bit extra to show the world building aspect of it. I liked it. I think if you like D&D, you're going to like Rising of the Shield Hero.
Oh yeah, it definitely felt like a D&D campaign. For some parts, he just rolled a bunch of natty ones at the beginning. But as the story progresses, and as he becomes like, well, I'm kind of spoilers, but as he becomes like the strongest hero, you'd feel like that they would like kind of like look up to him, but they find out that you find out that they're too big headed of themselves in order to look up to him rather and ask him for help, and instead they just want to do their own thing, level up their own way instead of work together. And it does sound like something that would hinder somebody from working together.
Right.
Guys, wouldn't it be great if I spin this wheel and it lands on Rise of the Shield Hero?
That would be
Please
great,
do.
but I'm still hoping for Spy Racers. Like every time.
We all have our wants and needs. So I'm going to spin it. Are you ready?
Oh yeah. Just
Oh
hoping
my.
for something good.
Oh my goodness.
I do like your color or the color on this wheel versus Mark's wheel.
Oh God.
Oh my.
Wow, that's a doozy.
That's a little anticlimactic. So
Yeah.
what it has landed on is My Hero Academia.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of hot takes on this one.
Well, you like Naruto, and what's the difference? So we'll give
Rock Lee.
we'll give her a shot.
Rock Lee is the difference.
Rock Lee is the difference. That's true.
No, sorry, no. Deku wears a green jumpsuit, so I mean,
Oh yeah, that's true.
Touche. I was actually about to say they tried to make the main character Rock Lee in this one, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, not enough weight drops, man. That's what they're missing.
There's never enough weight drops.
Just need a Gara character. That's all. That's all you need. Just
They need a character and powers.
Yeah, you just need to put a demon inside of a child. That's all I'm saying. Like that's the secret to good anime.
So that's what we got, guys. On the 8th, we'll be reviewing My Hero Academia, the show that everyone's heard of and no one has watched.
And tune in next week where we will have a whole surprise episode. It's going to be a twist about what we do here on Dad's Anime Stache that I do not want to spoil to Daddy Josh here.
I will not be here next week as I will be at a concert with my friend Matt Stout.
Matt Stout. Why does that sound?
Because I said this exact phrase several weeks ago.
Yeah, but I feel like there's something. There's got to be something missing. That name sounds familiar.
I said his name several weeks ago when we talked about this for the first time.
You know what? I think I know it is. Didn't you say that name like a couple weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's where I remember it from. Okay. Well, all right. Well, yeah.
I think we've said all there is to say about Kengan Ashura. Let's go ahead and wrap up the episode. Barry, take us out.
All right, kids. I guess Booty Stank. You want to tell people where they can find you before I forget that little detail?
Well, you can find me on Spotify or Anchor.fm. Those are pretty much the only things I think I am at. You could find me at Booty Stank's ADD Daily Commute. I do daily episodes on my daily commute to or from work, but I have taken a brief hiatus because of issues. But yeah,
that happens. I appreciate you coming on the clutch. Kiddos, make sure to rewind them VCR tapes and put them back into your dad's stash, and we'll see you next week for a surprise episode. Everyone take care, and I love you all.
Would you like to ask them to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts like you told us to do earlier?
Yeah. See, this is why you guys are the good ones, and I forget everything. Little twist before you put that stash. Make sure you go on to Apple and leave us a little review. 5 stars. You can put almost anything. We did have one where they said they adored our show, and I already forgot the name to that as well. Put that in our little episode clip later. But till next week, you all have a good one. Drive safe, and I am proud of you all.
Anything else you want to add?
I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
Well, we always like to tell them that they can find us on YouTube or Facebook. And then you can also check us out on Instagram and Patreon. Sign up for our Patreon. We only have one tier, and it's $1.
Yeah.
What he said.